What's up? My name is Glue Boy. Welcome back to the channel, and I got another Primarch for you. The Primarch videos do super well. Y'all seem to really like them, and they're actually fun to write and record. So we got another one. This time, fan favorite, Jaghatai Khan. Now, Jaghatai is really popular, I think, for a few reasons, but he's also really underrated. Not a lot of people know about him, like him, or remember him, which lore reasons for it. Specifically, I think one of the reasons he's getting a resurgence is because the Adeptus Ridiculous podcast episode on him, which sells him incredibly well, and there are genuinely really cool parts of his story. However, I will warn you, those of you who might want to go out and read the White Scar books, they're really inconsistent. His characterization is really inconsistent writer to writer. He has really good story beats, moments, but like as an entire character written out through the Horus Heresy, it's middling, so watch out. But the Primarch himself, like everyone else, all the Primarchs got launched into space to land on whatever planet they were going to land on. And specifically, Jaghatai Khan was on a direct collision course to Chemos. Now, those astute in the audience, those lore nerds, might recognize, wait a second, Glue Boy, wait, hold your horses. That sounds like the planet that Fulgrim landed on. And you would be correct. I found this out for the first time researching this. Apparently, the Chaos Gods had a specific plan for everyone to land on a specific planet that would give the highest chance for them to be corrupted. So originally, Jaghatai Khan was gonna have Fulgrim's place and be Slaaneish's champion. Didn't happen because a certain god named Kegarak showed up, the Eldar laughing god, who decided, as a funny little goof, and also to fulfill a Aeneid prophecy, another Eldar god, the god of death, to get a champion worthy of wielding a mighty Eldar blade. He just, in space, switched the babies. And Jaghatai Khan landed on Shagoras, a feudal world that is blasted back to, late Renaissance period. No spacefaring tech, nothing fancy. They got horses and they got bows and spears and such. He landed in this big empty plain and was found by the Onkan nomadic tribe in the area, where the leader took him in and decided, I'm gonna name you Jaghatai Khan. You're my kid now. And it was here that baby Jaghatai would go on his path to become Space Genghis Khan, or in reality, he's actually more based on Jaghatai Khan, the second son of Genghis Khan, who ruled the Mongol Empire during 1200 CE, but that's neither here nor there. And I'm going to breeze through this section because Jaghatai Khan is a loyalist Primarch, and as such, his backstory is boring. Doesn't fully matter, except for one or two key points, because all but a few, the loyalist Primarchs are Big E comes down, wow, you did a real impressive job taking over the planet, good job, do it more. Nothing fancy. So I'm gonna speed through this. So there was a dude on Shagoras named the Palatine. This dude was the head of the empire that ruled Shagoras. He was a real dickhead. He kept going into the Onkan's territory, killing and enslaving them. The Khan decided, I don't like that. So he decided to lead a war. And in 20 years, he was actually able to take over just a lot of shit. He, had the classic empire builder combo of walking up to a city and then giving them the ultimatum, join me or die. Some joined, some died. Until eventually he got to the Palatine's castle himself. And instead, he gave the people in the city an offer. Hey guys, you all know the rampage I've been going on. Either you give me the Palatine's head, on a pike, or I raise the entire city to the ground. And obviously, they picked the former, because that's a much better deal. And the Khan got that nice overnight shipping on a man's head and got it hanging on his tent. He was real happy with himself. Now, the important part here that defines the Khan's character. Now, the Khan found himself in a bit of predicament after he conquered everything. He was the strongest man in Shagoras. Hands down, the man's a fucking Primarch. There's not many that can face you in combat. And he was put in this position of ruling. And he found he didn't like the job. Mainly for a specific reason. Without constantly challenging yourself, conquering things, fighting things, you lose that fighter spirit, and you find yourself in your castle building bigger and bigger walls against a bigger threat that might come. You, as he puts it, you grow fat and complacent under this peacetime. And this was something he really hated. He didn't like the idea of this. So he became in the list of Primarchs that liked the conquer part, but not the ruling part. The kind of Primarch that rolls in, kills the big bads, and then leaves without setting up a stable form of government. But eventually Big E came down, gave his son the thumbs up. Good job on conquering, my boy. Did a great job. By the way, join me or die. Gave him the same, ultimatum. Granted, it was a little more suggested than like, gun to head. More of like, hey, we're spacefaring, we have big armor, I'm in a giant golden suit with a flaming sword. Probably should, side with me. And so he decided, in thinking about it, yeah, I'll swear fealty to the Emperor. And there were some problems with this, but not to the extent of some other, Chaos Primarchs, as he fucking hated the concept of emperors and kings. So, natural distrust of the Emperor. However, the difference is that he thought the Emperor was doing things well, or at least his motive was right. The Khan really liked the idea of the Imperial Truth. He liked the idea of conquering the stars for humanity. And he was essentially given a thumbs up to conquer in space. He had more things to fight, more things to test his strength against, which he was pretty fucking down for, despite a lot of reservations toward the Emperor. But he was given his white scars and sent on his way. Which, as well, a key thing with the Khan's personality. The man is super blunt and honest. Like, imagine Rogel Dorn, but like a little more dickish. Because like, I love the Khan, but he's kind of an asshole. For no reason sometimes, he just is very brutal for no reason. But this brutal honesty gave him the position of just being trusted. He told the Emperor, with no uncertain terms, here's exactly what I think of this arrangement. And so the Emperor's like, well, you're not gonna betray me now. It's like, if you were gonna betray me, you wouldn't have told me that. So he was given free rein to just go out on his own and do his own thing. Which also led to an issue where Jaghatai Khan and the White Scars weren't very recognized and remembered because they were just like off in like the fringes, killing orcs and like Xenos. So no one really knew what they were doing, so no one was like giving them fancy medals and accolades like all the other Primarchs who were out bragging about how cool they were. As well, this, I guess, ignoring of his existence did pay off a little bit, as Jaghatai Khan was able to skirt around some of the rules. Specifically in, there's a rule about modifying your shit. You weren't allowed to modify your ships. Jaghatai did. He went to the Mechanicus and said, make my ships faster. I like going fast. Everyone's got a jet bike or jetpack. I want to go faster. And are you going to be the one to tell Jaghatai Khan to fuck off? No, you're not. So they did it, obviously, and now he has like the most maneuverable ships in the Imperium. As well, the Khan was very insular. He had a few friends of the Primarchs, but he didn't like most of them. He had a few friends, like the Lion, Sanguinius, and Magnus. Those were like the three. Everyone else he didn't like, and also just didn't like the idea of being friends with them in general. He had this aversion to camaraderie and these like commitments you'd make to another person. He didn't like the idea that he could be like called for favors or something. Didn't want any part in it. As well, when you build this on his personality of the quiet kid in the corner, who the moment you try to like playfully rib, he tears you a new one. Which he did. And I'm gonna explain as much, because you came here wanting this, I'm expecting. His famous clap back to Fulgrim.
Sanguinius smiled. My brother, I think you're the most inscrutable of us all. I know what Rogel wants, and I know what Rabute wants, but even after so long, I have no idea what you want. He wants to be left alone, said Fulgrim, to shoot off into the stars and hunt down Xenos on those delightful jet bikes. They're devilishly fast. I heard from a contact on Mars, Jaghatai, that you do strange things to your ships. The Khan shot him a heavy-lidden stare. I heard you do strange things to your warriors. Fulgrim's slender face briefly flared with anger, but Sanguinius laughed. I wonder which one of you would win in a duel, the angel mused. I would like to see that. You both handle a blade like gods. Name the place, brother, Fulgrim said to the Khan. I'd even travel to Chagoris if you built a palace to keep the dust from my armor. The Khan felt the insult. It stabbed at him, deeply, but his expression never changed. They could never know, none of them, how much their closed fraternity rankled him. You would lose, said the Khan. Fulgrim grinned, but there was something fragile in it. Oh? You would lose because you would treat it like a game, like you treat everything, and I would not. You would lose because you know nothing of me, and I know everything of you because you shout it from the turrets of your battle cruisers. My prowess remains unknown. You have some reputation as a swordsman, brother, but I make no boast when I tell you I would leave you choking on it.
Which, that's the Khan's personality. I think it's a really good summary of who he is as a person. Love him or hate him. That's what he does on the regular, and love him to do. But regardless, that friendships I mentioned, specifically the real key one right there, is his friendship with Magnus. He liked Magnus a lot. Like Magnus, he also used a lot of psychers in his army. However, his psychers were a little bit different. They had a stronger shamanistic and ritual practice that actually made it a lot safer of psychic stuff to use. The capacity for demon invasion shit is way lower in their method. And as well, he was one of the founding members of the Librarius, the coterie psychers that created the group inside of Space Marines that practice psycher shit. However, he was also one of the key players to be like, Magnus, you slow down. Calm down, bud. You're going a little crazy. You're doing some crazy demon shit. And Magnus like, shut up. No, nothing bad could possibly happen with my psyker use. Which leads us to the burning of Prospero. Which from this, the Khan was put in a really weird situation. Because first of all, the Emperor kind of just fucking left the Great Crusade. He said, all right, I'm dipping. Horus, your War Master. Peace. And he went back to Terra. Now, remember what I said about, growing fat and complacent in your tower. That's what he saw the Emperor doing. And as well, he trusted Horus. He was noted of saying Horus was the right man for the job. The Emperor picked the right person, obviously. And this led to some problems. Because real quickly, he started getting some messages sent to his flagship. First, Horus was like, dude, you won't believe it. Leman Russ just betrayed the Emperor and killed Magnus. Dude, you gotta go and kill Leman Russ. What the fuck? Why'd he do that? And then immediately he got another message from Dorn saying, yo, Horus just betrayed the Emperor and did a drop site massacre and virus bombed a bunch of people. You gotta get to Terra. Right after the others. She was like, I don't know what to fucking do. And actually, for a bit, he was thinking about siding with Horus. Because he liked Horus. He served alongside him. He trusted his martial ability. He trusted his ability to lead. So he was actually going to side with Horus. But the Space Wolves and the Alpha Legion got involved. The Alpha Legion was extra weird during this engagement, as they kind of made a blockade, but made no strong advances toward the White Scars. Just matching their movements and being weird. And then the Space Wolves wouldn't actually tell Jaghatai Khan what was going on. Wouldn't give a straight answer. So he decided, fuck this. And instead of taking part in this engagement between Space Wolves and the Alpha Legion, he just fucking dipped to Prospero. To where he actually talked to a fragmented soul of Magnus. This part of his soul that was the compassion and the care he had for the Imperium that was left on Prospero. After, he got backbreakered by the Jock Squad. Which he talked to Magnus. And Magnus explained the entire situation. He explained what he did. He explained how he fucked up bad. He explained what Horus was doing. All of that. And Jaghatai, now was able to make his decision. But, who's that over there? Who's that in the woodworks? Who just teleported in a giant green fart cloud? It's Mortarion. Mortarion came to convince Jaghatai Khan to join the heresy. Now, the Khan and Morty never got along. Primarily because of the whole Librarius thing. Morty's whole hate boner for the organization and Jaghatai liking Psychers and Magnus. So already there was a level of distrust. But then he started really trying to lay it on thick. Hey, join the right side. Horus knows what he's doing. And then Jaghatai Khan played along and started coaxing out information. And once he got a bigger picture, he lit Mortarion the fuck up.
I see what has happened, he said quietly. Mortarion cocked his head. Oh? You were always sincere, I will give you that, said the Khan. You never hid what you wanted. I can guess how you thought it would go. First, hobble the sorcerers, silence the witches, drive them out, and rule passes to the uncorrupted, the healthy. That was your great project. You even told me of it that day on Olenor. I thought back then they were empty threats, but I should have known. You do not make empty threats. As the Khan spoke, Mortarion's mask-locked expression remained inscrutable. Every so often his eyes would go filmy, or his finger would twitch. There was a kind of febrile energy around him, spilling out of the cracks just as the noxious fumes did. But it has gone wrong, hasn't it? The Khan went on. You have completed your great mission, but there are more sorcerers than ever. Horus has sponsored them, Lorgar has shown them new tricks. If Magnus has not already made up his mind, then he soon will, and then you will be surrounded. You've destroyed the Librarius only to find the witches are now untrammeled. They played you well, you have done their work for them, and soon you'll be dragged into it yourself as warp-sick as they are. You think that I see it perfectly, Magnus showed me. Your legion may be free of it for now, but the change will come. You've made your pacts, and now they will come to collect, you fool. Mortarion stiffened, his eyes blazoned with anger for a second, quickly quelled. You do not, and that is why you come to find me, said the Khan. You've run out of friends. Who will stand with you against the Aether Weavers now? Angron? What an ally. Curs? Good luck. The Khan gazed at Mortarion disdainfully. You've tasted the fruits of treachery and found them bitter. Don't drag me into your ruin. You're on your own, brother.
Which, they dueled. Now, Jaghatai Khan is probably one of the best duelists in 40k. Man is fucking cracked. I actually have a strong opinion that Jaghatai Khan would have beat Fulgrim if they fought like 1-1. Though he had some trouble against Mortarion, mainly because, actually, funnily enough, in the quote I read about Fulgrim, there's a part later on in that large excerpt that Mortarion is also very sullen and like lays back, doesn't put all his cards on the table. So they're both people that don't know a lot about each other, fighting each other. Hard to fight. And eventually Mortarion, got a bit on the back end and pulled the funny like, ha, you didn't beat me, I teleported away, see ya, and just poofed away. Where Jaghatai Khan immediately ran over to his flagship and flew back to Terra, where he was instrumental in holding back like everyone at the gates. It was like him and Rogaldorn held the fucking line. And like, shit would have gone way worse if he sided with the Heresy. He probably would have actually, Heresy probably would have fully won. But yeah, and that's kind of where the Khan story ends, because sadly, Jaghatai Khan is a pretty bad source of writing in reverse. As Jaghatai Khan, after the whole Heresy, the Great Scouring, all that stuff, he went back to Jagoras and found Drukhari raiders enslaving people. He was like, that's fucked up, don't do that, my people. And he raced off as fast as he could into the webway alone to go kill the Drukhari. And no one's ever seen him again. We don't know where he is, we don't know what he's doing. We don't even have like, a derelict piece of armor left behind to imply he's still alive and naked like Lehman Russ. Yeah, so who knows? Who knows what he's doing? I hope they bring him back. I'd like to see him with Gilliman, because that'd be a very fun combo, to be honest. But yeah, that's Jaghatai Khan. Pretty cool character. I think you're better off reading a lot of wikis than like his books himself. If there are any White Scar fans that really love the books, sell me on them. I've heard some less than good things about this stuff, so it's hard to want to go read them. But anyways, that's it from me. If you like this, like, comment, subscribe, do the YouTube stuff. See ya.